This review is going to cover the last 4 sections. There's 10 total sections in this chapter. It's a big chapter. A lot of it being proofs, a lot of it being, angles and segments and stuff like that. So, all right, we're going to start by doing a proof. So I'm going to switch el camera, senor y senoritas, to this one, baby. Okay. Don't forget to click on the screen of this thing so that you can see what I'm doing. Bye, Santi. Let me blow it up. Yeah, I think the quality is now pretty good. My job, and again, I stole all these from the books. I don't know why I said again. I never told you that in the first place. Write a 2-column proof where B is the midpoint of AC. So B is the midpoint, which implies that. C is the midpoint of BD, which implies this. And I need to show that A, B, and CD are the same. So the way I feel like I know I can handle this is, let me make a rough draft over here. If B is the midpoint, I can say that AB is congruent to BC. And I can also, since C is also the midpoint of BD, I could say BC is congruent of CD. And that's the def O mid P, baby. Any ideas, whether in the chat or unmute yourself? If I can write this out, where should that automatically lead me to and almost end this proof already? If AB equals BC and BC equals CD, what do you think I can say based off of that information using this property right here? What are congruent?
All the lines.
Good, correct. I can say AB. If AB is BC and BC is CD, then all of these are going to be congruent to each other. So that leads me to say AB is BC. Oh, and by the way, BC is also CD, so AB is going to be congruent to CD, which is what I need to find. Okay, so this will be a fairly simple proof. That will be my step 1. That will be my step 2, and that'll be my step 3, and that is that. So I think I'm good. So listen, I need to clear things up in the chat. I didn't say I want to be your friends. I said if we were the same age, I'd like to be your friends. Statements. But since I'm like 3 times your age at this stage, it ain't happening. Statement number 1. Always the what? 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 Always the given. Good. B is the midpoint of segment AC. Also, C is the midpoint of segment. Oh my gosh, am I writing out crooked? My face is red. Given. Seattle, leave me alone. All right, so we could say, since B is the midpoint of AC, B is the midpoint of AC. That means B lives in the middle of A and C. So A, B is congruent to B, C. Also, since C is the middle of BD, then C is going to live right in between B and D. So without even looking at what I wrote up here and without looking at a picture, I could say BC is congruent to CD. And that, boys and girls, is the definition of midpoint. Pretty much right away. If AB is BC and BC is CD, one of you said they're all equal to each other. So AB is CD. And cool, that's what we're trying to prove. And the reason why we did that is you could say substitution. I'm going to say transitive. The transitive property basically says if something equals this and that same thing equals that, then this equals that. Okay. As Dido would say in the song Stan, starring the musical rapper Eminem, it's not so bad. It's not so bad at all. Switching. Although I don't really need to switch cameras unless you want to see my face. And having said that, I know that's a ridiculous thing. Of course you want to see my face. I probably should have stopped presenting, but it's too late now. 8 Mile. Very good, Paul. 8 Mile. Right? It's Friday. If you could see the picture, and I'm not sure if you can, I'm sure you can, but I'll blow it up so you can see it just a little bit better. Whoa! I should be able to find the rest, and there's no I should be. I will be able to find the rest, knowing that 53 is this guy right there, right there. Is anything else 53? Is anything else 53? Yes is the correct answer. And the correct angle 7. Good, because these Johns is vertical. These Johns is vertical. While we're at it, since that's 53, you can either tell me the actual answer. How can I find out 6 if that guy's 53, or what is 6? Trying to pick a different color. 180 minus 53, one of you said, which is correct, and that should be 127. And some of you might have been like, couldn't we have done that over here? Sure you could. And the easiest one is, what is 5? What's 5? Kind of obvious. 990 is correct. But I'll get rid of that last 9 and put 90 instead. Good job, Gucci gang. All right, switch back over to this camera. When I turn this into a video form, I'll make sure that I zoom in so that those of you who religiously watch all of my videos, which is none of you, get to see exactly what I'm doing. Click on the paper thing and pin that. Stick a pin in it. That's what people in the 70s would have said when they wanted you to shut your mouth. If you was all like, blah, 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 Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, someone would be like, stick a pin in it, you. And that means be quiet. All right, let's do our rough draft over here. A lot of the segment ones and angle ones are very, very, very similar in theory, where I give you 1 equals 4. So these two are the same. And then I tell you that 2 and 3 are equal to each other. So these two are the same. And my job is to find out that AFC, which is 1 and 2, right, equals EFC, which is this guy. So this is what I'm going to do. I have to find out that AFC and EFC are the same. Well, if my job is to eventually say AFC, I should probably find out what AFC is. So this is step one. Step two, I will say that AFC is the measure of angle 1 plus 2. So in the chat, write out what else I could say using this information right here. Now, if you're wondering why I did that, the thing that we use to show that angle this plus angle that equals that whole thing is called the angle addition postulate. And if I can say that angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to angle AFC, I can also say, yes, thank you. I can also say that EFC is what, and what. Come on. You guys are killing me. 3 and 4. I need to show that these guys are the same. Okay. So maybe what I should do is I should take the fact that AFC is equal to 1 plus 2 and turn 1 plus, well, what do I know 2 is? 2 is 3. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn 2 into 3. I can turn, since 4 is equal to 1, EFC, I'm going to keep 3 there, and I'm going to turn 4 into 1. And looky, 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 look what I just did. Because I said that, I can now say what equals what. If AFC is 1 plus 3 and EFC is 3 plus 1, they're both 3 plus 1 or 1 plus 3. So I'm going to say that they are equal to each other. And that, of course, is the transitive property. So let's put it all together. Whenever I do these problems, I purposely don't look at the problems ahead, and I force my brain to do the thinking on the fly. Why I do that, I honestly don't know. It's a terrible idea, but it kind of helps me figure things out, and it helps me discover things along the way. Statement number 1, always the given. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. That's my given. Mom spaghetti, right? So if angle 1 is equal to angle 4 and angle 2 is equal to angle 3 congruent, I also, in order to get what I want, I'm going to say that angle AFC is congruent to angle 1 plus angle 2. I can also say that angle EFC is congruent to angle 3 plus angle 4. That, my friends, is the angle addition postulate. Pretty dope, huh, Bulls? Now, my goal here was to show that these two eventually are equal to each other. That's my goal. Right now, they don't look that way. However, if I can find a way to make this guy look like that guy, then they do equal each other. So I go up to my given and I say, well, why don't I try to make it so that if 1 is 4, why don't I turn 4 into 1 or 1 into 4? And if 2 is 3, why don't I turn that into that? And so I then say AFC. What I did up here is I turned 2 into 3. So then I have 1 plus 3. And then down here, I turned 4 into 1. so that I have two things that equal each other. And if you're like, well, what if I did instead of 1 up here, I made that 4. And instead of 3, I made that 2. So I have 2 plus 4 equals 2 plus 4. That would work too. And you'd get the same answer in the end because 2 plus 4 equals 2 plus 4 equals each other. This is a substitution property because I substituted. And then since this guy equals 1 plus 3 and that guy equals 1 plus 3, they equal each other. AFC is congruent to EFC. And that's a transitive property. Mm-hmm. B-Rabbit, I got shot. Oh, no. 8 Mile. Okay, I'm going to... Right, guys? I'm going to switch cameras again. Hey, guys, what kind of star is the most dangerous star? A shooting star. That's right. I forgot about Cheddar Bob. I forgot his name was Cheddar Bob. What a stupid movie. I'm sorry. Any huge 8 Mile fans out there? Not me. All right. Uh-oh, Athena. Looks like I have to call the police. So, zoom back up on the thing that I'm presenting so that you get to see what to do. The measure of angle 5 equals 7 minus 5. The measure of angle 4 equals 2x plus 23. Any ideas what we need to do? Can we set 4 and 5 equal to each other? Here's 4 and 5 for those of you who are visually impaired. Here's 4 and 5. Do they equal each other? Yes or no? Do they look like they equal each other? Let's ask that question. I mean, I'm going to say right now, no, because one's acute and one's obtuse. So I'm going to ignore the chat. Your messages are sending, Camilla. I'm going to ignore the chat and pretend the fact that 2 of you said yes. Oh, now you said no. Very good. So with these types of problems, they're either equal to each other or they do exactly what Athena said. They're consecutive interior angles. There's a theorem called the consecutive interior angles theorem that says if you have 2 guys that are consecutive interior angles, they're going to add up to 180. So 4, the measure of angle 4 is 2x plus 23. The measure of angle 5 is 7x minus 5. That's going to equal 180. I'm going to give you a 30-second head start to find x. And then type your answer and put it in the chat. 30-second head start. Look. You only get one shot. One chance. His palms are sweaty. Arms are heavy. He's got a vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous. Palms are sweaty. I think I said that. He's ready to spit fire. All right. Everybody be saying 18. So if I have 2x and 7x, oh, you know what? I'm afraid if I post this on YouTube that they're going to flag that for copyright infringement because it sounds so real. They're going to be like, you can't get this monetized. And I'm going to be like, why? They're going to be like, because you took Eminem's Lose Yourself without permission. I was like, that wasn't Eminem. That was me. And they're going to be like, no, it wasn't. That sounded too realistic to be just you. I'm like, well, maybe I should be a rapper myself. They'll be like, you should. Here's some money. Thanks, YouTube. Oh, cool. X equals 18. Good job to the three of you who got that out. Except for Camilla, you put like 1,888,888, which is incorrect. All right. This is where we dealt with this the last 2 days. This is where I think a lot of people were sad. You should rap your math song. Rap. No. Contains, I need to write an equation that contains 1, 3 and is perpendicular to PQ. And PQ is 4, -6. All right, so this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use point slope form. Point slope form is an equation that I can use if I have just a point and a slope. I have a point. There it is. What I don't have is the slope, but I have information about the slope. The slope that I have has to be perpendicular to this line connecting these two. Now, perpendicular slopes are negative reciprocals of each other. And you guys are professionals at negative reciprocals because of that IXL that you were supposed to do this morning, and I'm sure you all did religiously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the slope formula on P and Q. Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1 over X sub 2 minus X sub 1. I'm going to label these guys in red. X sub 1, Y sub 1, X sub 2, Y sub 2. And I'm labeling them in red so I don't get them confused with the one that I already labeled in blue. So -1 is Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1 is -6. Always the minus in the middle, which is funny. I've heard of Malcolm in the middle, but minus in the middle, that's something completely different than what I'm used to. Oh, look, a double negative. -1 plus 6 is 5, and 6 minus 4 is 2. Now, this line has a slope of 5 over 2. That slope has a slope of 5 over 2. In the chat, I need you to tell me the perpendicular slope, please. 2.5, but don't turn it to 2.5. Good, Athena. The perpendicular slope is -2 over 5. So the perpendicular slope, which is the one we want, is -2 over 5. So what this problem is asking us to do is we need to write an equation that contains 1, 3. So I'm now going to use that point and is perpendicular to blah, 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 which I found that out. So the slope that I want is -2 over 5. I'm going to plug it into that equation up there. Okay, I know a lot of what I'm doing looks very sloppy and I'm embarrassed, but that's all right. Y minus the blue Y sub 1, which I called 3, equals -2/5 X minus X sub 1, which I called 1 up there. So basically at this point, I feel that if I were to remind you what this is, you should be able to take that information and type out your slope. Don't forget, if there's a double negative, when I say slope, I'm sorry, you should be able to type in the entire thing. You should be able to say y minus or y plus whatever it is equals blah, parentheses, blah, 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 whatever it is. Your answer will look like this, but instead of y sub 1, instead of m, and instead of x sub 1, they're going to be numbers. And I will tell you this, there will be a double negative that you have to turn into a positive. So I would like to see a few people put their answer in the chat so I feel confident. You have 30 seconds. Look, you only get one shot. Don't screw it up, dog. I lived in a trailer for a long time, and my mom made really bad choices regarding her health. But I made something of my life. Dr. Dre noticed me. Oh, okay. All right. Well, nobody has their answer in the thing. So y minus y sub 1. What's y sub 1? You are. So there's a double negative that I'll have to take care of. Good. Equals m, which is that x minus x sub 1, which is 4. And that double negative, I'm just going to cleverly turn into the biggest plus sign I've ever created in my entire life. So Athena, you had it, but you didn't need to put that 2 again. I'm assuming that was just accident. Good. Paul, close. You accidentally used 9 twice. Look, you only get one shot. And you did have it. You did miss your chance. Bruh. When opportunity knocks once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself. You gotta lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. Oh. Then build a door and break it down. Is that part of the song? I don't remember. Write an equation that passes through negative 312. Remember this guy. I'm going to go to my Google bar, and I think that you should do the same. And I'm going to type out NCTM. And line of best fit is the first thing that pops up. Click on it. Is it working today? It wasn't working yesterday. Yay. So it wants me to write an equation. And it's given me an option to never... Or to, it doesn't say that I have to do it a specific way, that I have to do it in point slope or slope intercept. So I'm going to use the Lin-Reg calculator, because I haven't done that yet, to do just that. So the line of best fit, what are my 2 points? I have negative 312 and 15, 0. So I have, and I suggest you do the same, negative 312. And 15, 0. Beep, 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 beep. Look. I'm now going to click show line of best fit. And I'm not happy. Because it gives me here, it gives me a decimal for a slope. What is negative 0.67 or negative 0.6 repeating? Please, what is negative 0.6 repeating? 2/3 is the slope. Good. So I'm going to change this to y equals negative 2/3 x. What was it? Plus 10? And I think if all else failed, right, and I'm going to go back to the website, if all else failed and I really needed to find out what the slope was, like look at that point right there and look at that point right there. I go down to 4, I go over to 4, 6. So my slope is down 4 over 6, negative 2 over 4, 3. Or you can zoom in and move around and get that same exact information. All right, what did I do? Oh, I'm accidentally adding points. Oh no! Blah 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 blah.